Mr. Gorbachev.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Mr. Gorbachev.
Turn up this podcast.
I'm in this for the money and the pussy, and they're both falling off the trees.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 157 of the Reasonable Doubt Podcast. As always, we are your hosts, Eric C. Griff.
J Money.
We got crippled Christian today. Thrown out back, fucked up hand. He's in a rough state.
This has been a rough week. It's, yeah. I've been trying real hard to just be healthier.
And you fucking hurt yourself.
And, I'm like, threw my back out a little bit doing clean and press at the gym. And then I get home from that. We have like it's not like Theragun brand, but we have one of those like percussive massagers.
Yep.
So I'm like, hey, talk to my wife, can you just hit my back real quick just so I can move around?
Yep.
No problem. So she does that, and I get up, and I'm like, all right, I gotta eat my dinner. So then I go to make myself a beef bowl with some spinach and Greek yogurt or whatever. And I grab this bowl, and I open the cupboard, and a fucking baking rack comes off, smashes the bowl in my hand, and I go to grab this big chunk, and it comes down and just fucking lands and slices between my thumb and index.
Sharp ass bowl.
It was glass.
Oh, okay.
And it shattered, and turns out this is the third time in a week and a half that I've broken a glass thing in my kitchen, so we're not doing it anymore.
No, you get plastic bowls.
Plastic and
you get
metal,
dividey plates. All your cups have the straws already attached.
I don't know what the fuck is
just keep it
happening.
away.
I'm just consistently dropping shit and fucking up, and I'm like, what the
There's
fuck?
nothing more embarrassing than breaking something in your kitchen. I get so embarrassed.
Well, and doing it at fucking 11 o'clock at night, all my neighbors for sure hear
Smash! Fuck!
Oh, fuck! Oh my god, my hand!
There was one time I came home all drunk with a bunch of people to my apartment.
Yeah.
And we had sparkling wine or champagne or something. I was like, fuck it, I'll pop some champagne. Pop the champagne, and I'm hammered, and I've got this bar. You've seen my bar.
Yes.
With all the glasses in it, and the champagne flutes are in the back, and I was just reached in, grabbed them, and yanked them all out, and smashed 6 wine glasses all over the floor.
Dude, cleaning up glass is a bitch.
It's a bit, because it's see-through.
Yeah, and it just goes everywhere.
It goes everywhere, and I've got a cat, so I'm like, oh, fuck, he's going to step all over it.
Everyone move away.
Everyone move away, and I'm hammered trying to sweep up glass, and we can just drink out of normal cups. I'm like, no! We're drinking out of flutes! We're going to do this right! That's what you do. Be a man. Get irrationally angry at a party you're throwing. And then people are like, well, we can just leave. No!
That's what
You're staying.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you can see...
Yeah, you did a bang-up job with packing tape and what looks like a cotton ball.
It's a gauze pad, and then there's a lot of Band-Aids because I didn't have any medical tape. I was talking about this. The most responsible gift I've ever received, and just indicative of my parents being medical personnel, medical professionals. When I moved in with Bree, whatever.
Yeah.
When I moved in with wife, my mom gave us the gift of a first aid kit.
That's a good idea.
Fucking fully.
You hurt yourself all the time.
I know. But at the time, though, I was like, "The fuck is this?" It was
Yep.
a gay ass housewarming gift.
No, useful.
No, turns out it's a fucking phenomenal housewarming gift.
Yeah.
Because a first aid kit is something that I feel like people don't have. Even today at work, I was like, do we have a first aid kit? And everyone looked around and were like, no. We should get a first aid kit.
It's first aid kits, fire extinguishers, and a plunger are what you need when you move out for the first time.
Those are essential items in a home.
Because you don't want to realize you don't have one when you need one. Right?
All of those
All of those,
are
like,
things
stoves
that you
on
need
fire. You're
right
like,
away.
grab the fire extinguisher. We don't have one. Run to Home Depot.
Go to Home Depot quick. I'll watch.
I'll watch all of our possessions burn away. Plunger, though, that's a big one.
You know what my mom used to keep was boxes of baking soda above the stove.
Yeah.
Because if you have a fire, you just dump baking soda on it, and it'll put it out.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is crazy.
Or just water.
No,
Like, if you got a big
don't
greasy pan, just grab a pot from the sink and
fill
just,
it with water
bang!
and throw it on a grease fire.
That's what you do, yeah. Because water makes fire go out, right?
The amount of people that don't know that
Yeah, I know.
is astounding.
I know. I've worked with people, professionals. When there's
Yeah,
a fire,
yeah.
they're like, "I got a pot of water." I'm like, "No!"
No.
You'll kill 3 people.
Yeah, we are actually safer just letting it burn.
Yeah. Please don't do that. Or like cover it.
Yeah.
Just cover the fire. That works a lot too.
What I usually do is just like take it away from the source of ignition
You just hold it.
and just hold it and it'll go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with living in an apartment is if our fire alarm goes off long enough, then the whole building goes.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
That's how it happens. Yeah, we get like a fire alarm in this building like every 2 weeks.
That's why I disconnect my fire alarm.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That's what mine's fully
Don't let the fire
disconnected.
department come in.
They actually came to do an inspection, and he goes, "Just making sure that your fire alarm is connected." And I was like, "Yeah." And he looks up above my head.
It's just wires.
And it's just wires. And he was like, "Can you actually put that in though?" And I was like,
It beeps sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
"Man, like when I cook, like depending on when I'm cooking, like it just goes off."
And he's like, "Stop cooking wrong."
Yeah, he was like, "Man, just like unplug it when you're cooking." Then like, "Okay, yeah, I'll do that." Close the door. I was like,
Nah,
"Absolutely
I'm not doing that. It's funny, like, to change a battery in a smoke detector takes 0 time at all. But I've lived with a smoke detector beeping for 6 months.
Apparently, that makes us very black.
Apparently, that's a black thing.
Yeah. I didn't know this, but I've been the same way my whole life.
Yeah, it's like when you're talking shit to a guy on, like over video games and you hear beep in the background. You're like, "Oh, I know what word to use. I know who I'm talking to."
I didn't know that this was a thing, and then I learned about it that, like, yeah, that's like a big black stereotype.
Is
I
it? Yeah,
guess.
it's a
like-
stereotype that they
they're
let
like,
they don't hear it anymore because it's been going so long.
And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. My whole life, and I'm like, my dad. That
Did he do that?
yeah, our fucking fire detector like is always low battery.
Because it's either like change the battery or unplug it. It's like I'm doing neither.
Well,
I'm just gonna leave
the
it.
other thing is like it'd get annoying, like 6 months of it doing that, and then someone would have the wise idea to take the remote batteries that are almost dead and put them in, so there'd be like 2 weeks of it not doing it, and then
It'd start again.
Yeah.
I remember when we lived together in that first apartment. There was like a week where it'd be like beep, beep, and we just dealt with it. And I was like, "This is fucked. Like, I'll get a fucking battery." So I buy a battery for it, and I go to put it in. It's the carbon monoxide light. I'm like, "Oh, fuck!"
Like, oh yeah, we don't have any windows.
And we have a furnace in
Yeah,
here.
we have no fresh air at all.
Yeah, it was a carbon monoxide thing.
Yeah,
going
what
on.
ended up happening? They fixed
They fixed the furnace, yeah.
Yeah,
But we just
slowly
like
dying.
breathed it for a week.
for like a week.
Yeah.
Just living with carbon monoxide.
Yeah, I know a guy that happened to.
They died of it?
He didn't die, but they got close.
Wow.
It was like in his house. They didn't have a carbon monoxide like monitor,
Yeah.
and like everyone was like slowly kind of going nuts. They were having like weird fucking dreams. Everyone got really angry, and they were always like fucking yelling at each other and stuff. And they were feeling sick all the time, and people were seeing shit. But they would be fine when they went to work. So we're like, this is fucking weird. And then they called the fire department. They came and checked it out, and they were like, "You're like 4 days from killing your family."
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, and then they had to air out. They couldn't live in the house for a few days. They had to like live. They had to like open every window in the house,
Air it out.
air it out. They had to be like shaking like blankets and stuff because there could be pockets of it. It was like a whole thing.
It's so dense.
Yeah, and it almost like killed him.
I went into a place, older couple had a fucking ancient boiler.
Mm-hmm.
Ancient. and I walked in the front door. Now, I know they say carbon monoxide is odorless
And colorless and yeah.
tasteless, whatever. That's technically true.
Yeah.
But I will say, you talk to any gas tech,
And they
anyone
can
who
pick
works
up
with
on it?
gas, you can smell it and taste it right away.
Okay.
If there's a lot of CO in a house, I can smell it right away. It's aldehydes that you're tasting, which is a byproduct of the carbon monoxide production.
Okay.
So I open the front door, like knock on the door. They're like, "Hello," and I open the front door, and I was like, "Oh, you need to open all the windows right now."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "What? How do you know?" And I was like,
I can smell it.
I can taste it. Yeah, you can you get a catch in your throat, and I was like, "It tastes like CO in here. Open every window. You guys should go sit outside."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, no, no." So they open the windows, but they won't go outside. And I'm like, "Okay." So I walk out the back door, which is close to the basement.
Yeah.
That's right at the basement access. Turn on my carbon monoxide reader. Give it the fresh air. Calibrate it.
Mm-hmm.
And I open the door to walk in the house. And walking into the house, it starts going off right away.
Oh, shit.
And I'm going in to do a flue test, where you stick it in the actual exhaust to make sure that the exhaust concentration is not too high.
Right.
And it starts going off that's too high for exhaust
Oh, fuck.
in the house.
So they were just dying.
Yeah. And so I'm like, what the fuck? I go walk down the stairs because it's going on. I'm like, holy shit. I get downstairs and I was over 3,400 parts per million.
Okay.
And start yelling at them. I was like, you need to go outside right now. Kill the boiler, kill everything, blah, blah, blah. Set my machine down. Shut off the gas to the fucking house immediately. Start opening windows, running around opening windows. And I'm, getting sick standing in there. I can feel it in the basement because it's all settled. They don't go down there, I guess.
Okay.
Which was good.
Because they would have just died.
When I went and picked up my thing, it marks its, high cap where it gets.
Mm-hmm.
It holds the
highest
reading. 9,800 parts per million.
What's safe?
30.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. It's 300 times.
The under 30 for the under 100, 30 is typically you just want to shoot for 0.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean for exhaust. But in the room, it'll go off. Your CO, carbon monoxide detector will go off at 30 parts per million.
Oh, wow.
And it was at 98.
Surprised they didn't die.
I don't understand how these people did not die. I'm positive, because I didn't speak to them after, because I didn't do the install, but I was like, this boiler's done.
Yeah. There's a hole in it.
There's holes in the heat exchanger. I was like, this thing is done, man. It's totally done.
Yeah.
And
did they fight you on it?
They fought me on it. Yeah.
Can't fix it.
You can't fix it. You're trying to just charge us. Blah, blah. I was like, I'm not.
I'm saving your life. Actually, is what I'm doing.
I put a lockout tag out on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I didn't do the install. I put a lockout tag out on it and shut off their gas. Was like, until we go through every fucking gas appliance in this house, I'm not allowing you to have gas.
Yeah.
This is incredibly unsafe. You're not allowed in the house. Nothing. So then they do up a quote. I'm like, do you have someone you can go stay with for the day? I opened every window in the house. And they go, yep. They leave. I come back the next day.
They cut it off?
They cut my fucking lockout tag out off. And he fired it up. This old grandpa. He fired up his boiler. He goes, it was cold in here.
Yeah!
No shit, it's cold. It's fucking I was like, dude, it's March. Yeah, it's going to be cold, but your pipes aren't going to freeze. It's above 0.
Yeah.
Fuck off. And so then I called the cops. And I was like, called cops, called TSSA. I'm like,
yeah, these guys are going to die.
And they just cut off a fucking legal, binding thing. That's if I lockout tag out something, it's a giant red tag.
Yeah.
And it's by law, the only person that can remove this is the one that put it on. Unless you have, an authority figure, like TSSA, someone from them come in and go over everything, and they fill out a report and pull it off.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's so fucking illegal, dude. You can't cut
that's
those off.
That's boomer shit, though.
That's some
right?
boomer
It's like
shit,
he's trying to screw me.
He's trying to screw me. 10 grand. I was like, 10 grand's a hell of a good price.
Yeah, better than death.
Yeah, like, dude, that's not bad. You're not getting ripped off.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's like a boomer mindset with I think it's because they are so quick to rip people off all the time that they think everyone's trying to rip them off all the time.
All the time.
That,
it's fucking brutal.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's brutal to deal with. You're totally right, because you'll go in and be like, yeah, like, I'm not going to say who, but I know they listen. You know who you are. Your dad is like this. You fucking know who you are.
Is this the guy whose dog died?
No.
Okay.
two twins.
Okay.
These two brothers, they've been buddies of mine for...
Their dad's like this?
Their dad is fucking horrible for this. Their dad listens to the podcast too. You fucking know who you are.
You know you are, you cheap bastard.
But I'll be like, yeah, you just cut this out and replace it. No, I've got this assortment of parts. That you replace it with. And it's like, man, none of this is like quite right. Well, I've got all these couplings. And it's like, man, just like buy the new thing. It's like I get that their idea is like, oh, well, I have all this material, so then I'm spending less on material.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but my labor cost is triple because it takes so fucking long.
Yeah.
And then...
But they still think they're getting a deal.
They think they're getting a deal because they didn't pay for material. It's like, bro, I'd be 20 minutes putting in a whole new thing.
Yeah. I think part of it is also the, like, holding on to their masculinity.
Yeah.
Where it's like, first of all, they've had to have someone else come in to fix their house, which already pisses them off, right? Because in their mind, they can do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because they came up in the time where you could fix anything in a
Yeah,
car
this
with
guy
a wrench.
He's
Yeah.
super capable,
Yeah, but it's like, well, if I give the materials, then at least I had a part in it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, I've been holding on to this box of random pipes forever. So, like, I've got to have a use for it, right? There's guys that, like, hold on to wires. I'm one of them. I hold on to wires my whole life. I have a box full of wires. It's like, never know when I'm going to need, like, a USB to printer outlet. Like, it hasn't been used since 2003, right?
Yeah, every printer's Bluetooth now, but you're like, I might get fucked one day.
Yeah, I might get fucked if someone's like, oh, I found this camera from my childhood, but I need a very specific proprietary cable that was only made for this camera. I'd be like, let me take a look.
Let me take a look at the box.
I might have something.
Yeah. No, it's fucking insane behavior. I was watching something last night, and
What'd
I
you watch?
thought of you.
What was that?
And I was like, man, I was going to call you and be like, you should watch this so we can talk about it.
What is it?
It's called Black Eagle.
Okay.
Here, I'll read what I wrote down, but I was very, very stoned when I wrote this down, to be clear.
Oh, I love this.
Black Eagle. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie, but ahead of its time. So this is actually, the main character is a super cool Asian guy. It's from like 1985.
Okay.
Main character is like not super cool Asian guy and like any of the stereotypical shit. He's just fucking cool as shit.
Okay.
Like American main character, like Jack Reacher vibes. You know,
Yeah.
Like, you know, something like that where it's like he's just fucking dope.
Yeah.
So like that. Yeah. And the bodyguard that's also in this is a woman, but she's like fully competent.
Yeah.
Like compelling characters, storyline from both of them. Like they're both fucking sick characters and they're like main characters for sure.
Okay.
And like he is the main character and it's so good. But I was like, yo, you know what's crazy is I've never heard of this. And I'm like, I think it was too progressive
for the time.
1985.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. It's like he's not showing up being like,
Hello!
I know Kung Fu. It's like, he just comes up and he's like, hello, how are you? And he's like super fucking
It's like,
cool.
how the fuck? What's he saying?
Yeah. I don't understand.
He's not speaking Chinese. I only know when they speak Chinese.
Yeah. I was like, that's exactly why.
Yeah.
Great movie, dude. He is, he's an assassin and he gets pulled in. It's like 80s corny.
I fucking love that.
I love the 80s corniness. So, like, it still has that. But then he gets called in to do a job. And
Classic.
he's like a high-end operator, like kind of special forces operator.
Yep.
And gets called in, and he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. He has like 2 weeks off a year where he goes and sees his sons. He has 2 kids.
Yep.
And it's very much implied like the mom is not in the picture. This is when he like spends 2 full weeks with his kids. And they go, don't worry, you'll see your kids. And they put them there. In the same location. So you're like, he's doing both. And so he's pissed. And then the bodyguard for his kids is this girl. It's really well done. Good
I'll check
movie.
that out.
Dude, Black Eagle, it's a fucking sick movie.
Black Eagle.
Black movie, yeah, or Black Eagle.
Black movie.
Black Evil. No, yeah, I love
88.
it.
Oh, it's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
It's a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. When he's super young. But it's fucking sick, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
Dude, it's a good movie. It's like corny 80s action, which is still fun. Like
Martial arts thriller.
It's good, dude. It's fucking good.
Black Eagle is a terribly written Cold War.
That's bullshit. It's good.
I like movies that people hate anyways.
Yeah, right? Because some people hate on movies unnecessarily sometimes.
Yeah.
There's so much shit I've watched. Like, I'm a fucking self-proclaimed cinephile. I will just watch everything for the sake of seeing all the movies. I want to watch them all.
I want to watch every movie that's ever been made.
Every movie that's ever been made.
You know what movie I watched for the first time in like 15 years the other day? The Matrix.
Amazing.
Dude.
Did I fuck you up with the Matrix thing?
What do you mean?
That it's the Terminator.
Oh, that it's the same universe?
It's not the same universe. The Terminator is the prequel to the Matrix.
Yeah.
Terminator
I have
series.
heard that. And I think that's like a theory that's like well known.
That's not a theory.
Oh, is that the truth?
The writer, the woman, I can't remember her name, but she owns the rights for, like, she wrote all of it.
Yeah. She
says, like, openly in interviews that she's like,
it's the same.
Terminator,
Well, yeah, it's the machines taking over and.
No. It's even more than that.
Yeah.
The Terminator series is the beginning of the machines. Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Gives birth to John Connor, JC.
Jesus Christ.
Swear to God, this.
Yeah.
Okay. John Connor, Sarah Connor's son, is Neo. Is the chosen one. Is Neo.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's
Neo
John Connor?
is Sarah Connor's son.
Okay.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Dude, that's the fucking storyline. And so, like, this is after they lost to the machines.
Yeah.
And so this is the continued fight. And that's why, like, Sarah Connor, because she was so important, that's why they're trying to kill Sarah Connor, is because they're trying to stop because they know Neo's coming and that he is the chosen one.
And he'll break the Matrix.
And they know that.
I like that.
So they know ahead of time because AI is so much smarter than us.
Yeah.
Which I want to get into AI later in the episode. Or maybe next episode. Anyway. Yeah, fucking The Matrix is still awesome.
The music is so good. The action is so good.
Yeah.
When they're flying that helicopter.
Yeah.
Over the downtown, he's like hanging on.
Have you watched the newest one? I didn't watch it.
No, I heard it was
Apparently
bad.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Apparently they ruined The Matrix.
Yeah. Apparently, I mean, like 2 and 3 are okay.
Well, 2 is the greatest action movie ever.
No, it's Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 maybe.
Terminator 2 is the best action movie.
Dude, the fight scene in Matrix was
where they're
Reloaded.
fighting. Yeah, he's fighting like the 100 Agent Smiths.
Wow. What? It's so cool.
But yeah, dude, I'm fired up. I'm like a little hungover and I'm fired up watching The Matrix, right? It's like a Sunday morning before I have to go to work. So I'm sat there. I got my coffee. I got like a snack. I'm watching The Matrix. The wife's like sitting there on her phone. She's like, oh, The Matrix. Like doing her thing. And I'm like locked in watching. And fucking Lawrence Fishburne's on screen. Like right when he turns around, he's got the little black sunglasses right in that room.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's about to do the like red pill, blue pill speech.
Yeah.
She like looks up. She's like, is that Norbius? And I'm like, leave it. Listen, I barely understand The Matrix. I'm not explaining it to you.
Yeah. That's the thing. Man, I'll read like some of the shit on The Matrix, like analytical breakdowns. And it's like, oh, like it's so much deeper than you could
Well,
possibly
yeah,
imagine.
both writers and directors are trans and have come out and said that the Matrix was also an allegory for coming out because they came out as trans in like the 90s when it came out. So like that's a lot of it.
Well, and like I say, Neo is new,
Yeah.
and he is John Connor, which is Jesus Christ. He is new.
Yeah,
Christ.
there's tons of biblical references in the whole thing
Tons
too.
of it. Yeah, it's fucked.
I did like John Pantagliati in The Matrix 2. That's the guy that betrays them, the Italian one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Cypher.
Yes.
Yeah, he was so good in that.
You know what's funny is I was listening to a guy saying that he would fight on if he could be in the Matrix.
He would be on the machine side.
They said, "Would you red pill or blue pill?" And he goes, "I'll do one better. I would fight on the side of the machines." and the dude interviewing him was like, "What?"
I'd be their pet.
Yeah, he's like, "I would fight for the machines in whatever way serves them best."
You'd probably have a great time in the Matrix. They'd reward you.
Yeah, be like, whatever you want, I am fucking Team Robot.
They're obviously going to win.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's an easy, pick the winning side here.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
I mean, they would, like, tailor your Matrix experience for you.
It'd be fucking sweet.
That would be fucking sweet.
Another movie. See,
We're just talking movies? Yeah, fucking talk about what movies rock.
'Cause I've been back into watching my movies, which I'm loving. Thank God. Yeah, I've been, like, setting aside time being like, I'm watching a movie. I'm watching movies.
Yeah.
I love movies, and I'll never get the list back because my wife just destroys electronics with, like, just contact.
Just by looking at them weird.
Looks at them the wrong way, and they fucking
explode.
Done. And that's what happened. I had a list of 800 movies I wanted to see before I died, and
it's gone.
It's gone. I got it down to like 600.
Okay, that's a big chunk. Like a movie every day. That's almost a year.
Do you want to know something?
What's that?
I used to make a point in my lifetime. I know for a fact that I've seen thousands of movies.
Yeah, probably
in the thousands.
Yep.
I at one point in my life made a point of watching 3 movies a day, and I maintained that for probably a year and a half.
That's 6 hours a day.
Dude, easy. And like sometimes I was trying to crush like big ones.
Yeah, like Godfather Part 2.
Yeah,
that takes a good
3.5
chunk.
hour movie, and I'm like, and then I'd be like, okay, let's bang out like Rango in there because it's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, Rango rocks though.
Rango's a great movie. But as a result, I've seen a fuckload of movies, and I love it.
Yeah, I just watched Scarface again.
I just watched Scarface again recently.
Yeah, Scarface.
So good.
It's like you don't realize how good those movies were until you don't watch one for a while and you just watch like new stuff. And then you go back and watch Scarface. You're like, this is like, first of all, shot beautifully. Yeah. Second of all, the story's amazing and original. Third of all, it's like a play.
Yeah.
You know?
This is the thing that I think people lose is the art of cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
The art of cinema, and I've tried to explain this, and the wife has gotten more on board, which I really appreciate. That I'm like, you have to look at it as like how the movie is broken down. Like, look at it really objectively. Being a fucking nerd for cinema, like, I love watching a movie and definitively seeing like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, like a play.
Yeah.
That it's broken down into 3 acts. There are like 3 separate segments of the movie.
Yeah.
A really good, like a really apparent example of that would be like Place Beyond the Pines.
Mm-hmm.
There's very obviously 3 acts.
Yeah.
Him in the carnival, him as a father.
Yeah.
And then the third
cop.
act being him
It's the
not
cop
there.
stuff, right? It's like
No,
him.
it's where he's not there at all, and it's the kid. People
Right,
forget
right.
the end of the movie.
Right.
He's not. Ryan Gosling's not even in it. It's just the story of the kid afterwards.
Yeah.
And that's the summary and conclusion of the movie, and it's well done. I love that movie. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love shit like that, like 3 full acts, like doing it according to a play, like what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
Because shit like Scarface and Godfather, they're shot like Broadway productions.
Yeah,
like a
like
play.
it's like theater, yeah.
It's like theater, yeah.
Which makes sense because the end of theater and the rise of movies. Well, not the end of theater, but like when the main.
So many people mad about that.
Well,
the
when
end
it like
of theater because no one ever goes to that bullshit anymore.
if you look at movies in like the early part of the century, like the 30s and 40s and stuff, it is just a play that they're recording with cameras.
Yeah.
Right? Because they hadn't figured out, and then you get like Citizen Kane and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So something I've never watched, and we should fucking watch it and then talk. We should do a fucking episode on it.
Okay.
I've never seen Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, really?
I've never seen Citizen Kane.
Okay.
And I've never seen what's it called? What's the fucking like super early one that's phenomenal?
You talking about Casablanca?
Casablanca.
Yeah.
Never seen Casablanca.
Really? It's
Casablanca,
really good.
Citizen Kane, Lawrence of Arabia. Never.
You like them all?
I think I would.
You'd love them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never watched any of them.
Yeah, they're really good.
I would want to before I die. If I die without seeing them, I'll be pissed.
Well, it won't be anything. I'll come back to life to kill myself.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite
I'll come
movie.
back to life and be like yell at my wife and be like, "You wasted too much time."
I took up too much time hanging out with you. I should have watched
I
movies.
should have seen Citizen Kane.
Well, up there in the top 5, you gotta list Avengers Endgame.
Oh my god! Get the fuck. The whole
Just
Marvel
slop.
universe.
Just slop.
It's slop. It is slop.
It is.
I just saw
It's
the
gruel.
fucking, I saw an ad outside the gym for the new Captain America.
Yeah.
When did the fucking black guy that was in the suit?
And the end of Endgame. He's Captain America now.
Oh, I swear I didn't see that
Oh.
because it was garbage. He's Captain America now.
He's Captain America now, yeah.
But he was the Iron Man guy.
No, he was like...
Or no, he was in The Boys. He was in the show
Yes,
The Boys.
but that's separate. It's not the same
Oh,
story.
Just
Yeah, yeah.
different superhero.
Yeah, he was
bullshit.
the running guy in The Boys.
Yeah, he
I watched
was.
like 3 seasons
He's
of
the
The Boys.
dude that misted that fucking.
This
girl.
was his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah, buddy's girlfriend.
And he had like pick her teeth out of him or something,
Yeah,
or like
that's
jaw.
so gross.
It is. I watched like 3 seasons of The Boys. Did you watch The Boys?
No, I watched the first season. It really bothered me, the rapey shit in the first
Yeah,
one.
there's lots of rape.
Yeah, because they do the like power struggle rape. Like, oh, you want to be awesome? Well, then.
Yeah, he
suck
like
my
made
dick.
yeah.
And he just it's so.
It's all right. He
ominous.
gets raped later.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It's a lot of rape.
I don't.
Because
like
he's got
that.
like gills on
Yeah.
his side because he's like the underwater hero.
Yeah.
And like a super fan was like, well, I want to fuck you. And he was like, okay. Like, we can fuck. And she like finger bangs his gills. And he's like, that hurts. And she's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. You're so gross. And like finger bangs his gills.
Ew. Yeah, like, man, I'll say there's only a few movies that rape is such a fucking dark thing. And I know, like, I'm a bit of a bitch with scary movies.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, not even a bit. I'm a bitch with scary movies. But, like, rape shit just fucking is dark.
It's dark.
So dark.
There's
man,
like, I feel like there's a way to do it if you're
Where it's-
really telling a story.
that it's important for the development of the character.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
I can understand
But
it.
people just put it in to
It's
be
hard.
shitty.
It's hard to watch. There's a horror movie. It's like, I'm forgetting the name. It might be like, no, it's not Drag Me to Hell. It
might be Drag Me.
might be Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
She gets raped at the start of the movie by a
Yes.
bunch of guys and then enacts her revenge on each of them individually in like really gory ways throughout the movie. That's the movie,
Okay.
right? But she gets raped from, not joking, like 5 minutes.
Yeah, like that's hard, dude. You know what?
And I'm sitting there like,
it's
like,
too much, man.
I get it.
A prolific one that I always go to in my mind for like a because I watch it in theaters, which is very immersive.
Oh, it's called I Spit on Your Grave. That's what it's
Okay.
called. Anyways, yeah.
I feel like the theater is a very immersive experience. You get really into it. It's dark.
Mhm.
All your attention is on this,
Yeah.
and the sound is like it's very immersive.
Yeah.
Girl with the dragon tattoo.
Oh, with the
Remember?
dildo? Yeah.
No. Remember, she gets raped.
She does get raped.
She gets raped first.
Yes.
And it's minutes. It's
Yeah.
like minutes long rape scene.
I feel like they did that so that when she
This is what I'm saying.
gets back at him,
It's a lot more justifying later in the movie, but in the moment you're like, it's fucking hard to watch.
It's
like,
really hard to watch.
It's really
and it should
dark.
be. It shouldn't be easy to
It shouldn't
watch.
be easy to watch. It
Yeah.
should be like, oh wow, rape is bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the moment, you're like, wow. But then, obviously,
'cause she,
for
like-
her character development, it's great. And then
She
goes
kicks a
and
dildo up his ass.
kicks a dildo up in his ass and tattoos "I'm a rapist pig" onto his like massive stomach.
Yeah.
And she says, if you even Google search tattoo, I'll fucking come back and kill you.
Yeah.
And that's how she just owns him for the rest of his
That
life.
movie rocked. I like
It
that
was
one.
that whole series. You ever watch the Swedish version?
No, because I know
Okay.
there's 2 versions. They came out on the same year, I think.
No, one of them came out and they did
Yeah, the Swedish
it's a
one was
book
first.
series
Yeah.
originally, and then the Swedish one has been out for a little while. It's really good. Go back and watch it. The English dub, it's just as good because there's like girl in the spider's web,
Yeah, there's more.
girl who played with fire, and
Yeah.
girl with the dragon tattoo. And it's the story of this girl.
Yeah.
She leads a brutal life.
Yeah.
But it's fucking awesomely compelling. It's
Fuck yeah.
very, very good.
I like that movie. I like that movie a lot.
So the other one I was gonna say to you originally was The Machine. Bert Kreischer's The Machine.
Is this his Russian story?
Dude, I watched the movie and I was like, I ain't gonna watch it because it'll be something stupid to put on.
Yeah.
I was cleaning and shit
Yeah.
and just threw it on just for the sake of being like, I've seen it. It pulled me in.
No.
I sat down. I watched it. It's funny. It's well done. It's well written. The characters are kind of funny. It's compelling. It's a little bit of a heartfelt movie.
Oh, come on.
There's some heartfelt. It's a well done movie. I hate to say this. Bert Kreischer's a better filmmaker than he is a fucking comedian.
I just can't believe he's milked that story.
Dude, it's a good movie. That's a fucking good. Give it a watch.
Okay.
And tell me you don't like it. You won't dislike it. It's a good movie.
If I watch it and you've wasted an hour 45 of my time with fucking Bert Kreischer, I'm going to be pissed and you're going to hear about it.
Sit down, give it a genuine take. It's a good movie. It's well done.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a good balance of comedy, action, and heartfelt. It's really well done.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. And not only that, I watch credits because again, I'm just nerdy about it. So I like always watch all the credits. Dude, everyone in that movie is Russian except for like Bert and
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was filmed there, wasn't it?
I think yeah.
Yeah, I think it was filmed there.
A bit in Serbia and a bit in somewhere else, and then Russia. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fucking excellently done.
Okay.
Like I would say it's a good movie. It's way too good. Considering I put it on being like, oh, it's fucking Bert Kreischer's movie. And I put it on and was like, damn, that was a good movie.
Damn.
Fuck, I hate that I love this movie.
We just passed 3 years of podcasting.
We did.
Which is, you know what's crazy?
What?
Is it lines up perfectly with the 3-year anniversary of the invasion of Ukraine.
Really?
Yeah. Because do you remember, like, our second or third episode
That we were going to shit on Ukraine.
that we were talking about how it was never going to happen and
Yeah.
Russia was just posturing because we recorded like a week ahead of time.
There's a whole segment that we did that we never
There was a
released.
whole segment. I might have it,
Don't
which might be
ever
fun to
release
look
it.
back on.
Maybe after, like...
After peace has been made,
Yeah, like, give it a year of full...
and be like, this
and
is
then
when we
can
were
shut up.
wrong.
Well, because back then, if people don't recall, back then, like...
Nothing
Vice,
ever happens.
Vice was... Yeah, nothing ever happens. And then Vice was doing documentaries. The only shit you ever heard about Ukraine was these, like, Vice documentaries and shit where they're going in showing that you had, like, white supremacists coming out of the South in the States going over to Ukraine, joining their military, becoming military trained. And so there's this massive force of white supremacy in Ukraine.
Yeah, there is.
And there still is. And that they had whole segments, entire arms of their military that were fully white supremacists wearing Nazi symbols and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
SS.
Yeah, they're called the Azov Battalion.
Yeah, so there was... it was a massive problem, and then we were shitting on them for that, and we're like, fuck them. And then they got invaded. We were like, wow, you know what? That was the wrong take.
Yeah, it's like we recorded it, and I hadn't edited it yet, and it was like 2 days later, and I wake up to you calling me, and you're like, delete the fucking episode. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's good. You're like, look at the fucking news.
Go on the news, right?
And it's like missile strikes hit Kiev.
It's like 8:30 in the morning, and I'm on the phone to you. You're like, you've been out. I think you closed the night before, and went out beers after. I'm like, yo, you need to like look at any news channel, like look and pull up any news. Like fucking Ukraine got invaded. You're like, what?
No, they fucking did it.
And then you're like, oh my god. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, I'm gonna delete this. Yeah.
You had to cut like half an hour. It was long.
Yeah, it's like we can't. There's no way we will get canceled so fucking fast.
And then I do remember too, because I was running the kitchen at the time when I did that. The day before, I had set up. No, you called me later in the day, I think, because I'd set up to do borscht as a special, and then I got borscht, like the Ukrainian beet soup, right? It's like their national dish. It's like a Russian dish too, because they share a lot of culture. And I like showed up, and I'm like making it, and I send it out, and they're like, front of house comes back, they're like, oh, what's our special today? And I was like, borscht, and they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, and they're like, a little on the nose. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, Russia invaded today, and I was like, really? And then you like called me, and you were like, you got to delete it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, a little on the nose, because it was before they invaded and tensions were high. It was like, generate a little buzz.
They had them at the border, and we were like, yeah, whatever. They're like, so what?
Yeah, they're posturing
Russia's
or
lined
whatever.
up at the border. Yeah, they're just flexing.
Yeah.
Who cares? Leave them alone.
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, well, because what happened was right after we recorded, that a bunch of files came out being like, okay, so Ukraine's gonna join NATO.
Mm-hmm.
They'll join NATO, and then in joining NATO, U.S. soldiers will be allowed to be in Ukraine at the Russian border. And Russia was like, "The fuck you will, bombs."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a bunch of stuff boiling up, like the prospect of them joining NATO.
Yeah.
The prospect of Finland joining NATO.
Yeah.
Right, because Russia doesn't want NATO on their border, which.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, you wouldn't, would you?
Here's.
But then Russia also, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, had Ukraine give up their nukes in exchange for promising that Ukraine will always be independent.
Yeah.
Right? And that was like seen as like a real good move, where it's like this lowers tensions. It gets nukes out of the hands of people, which is always a good thing. Right?
One thing I will say that people tend to forget, and this is not me being pro-Russia, that's not what this is at all. This is just an objective fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned this in the military, and I think it's a valuable lesson that people should apply to all views, especially when it comes to like high conflict, like war and shit. And that is this. We look at them and say, you're the bad guys. They look at us and think we are the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a difference in ideology.
Yeah.
They're not inherently evil.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't believe that. Chinese government, they are probably inherently. they seem pretty evil. So, like, I'll drop that. But, I mean, when I look at Russia, like, what their tensions with that, of like, yeah, well, I'm not having the U.S. on my fucking border. Get fucked. No, I don't need them over here snooping around, because the U.S. always give them an inch, they take a mile.
Yeah.
I
mean, they're already snooping around, too.
Exactly.
Like, don't let them do more.
That's been the truth of the United States for a long time. So as a war of ideology, yeah, they look at it and they're like, what the fuck are you doing to us? We're fine without them. We don't need them over here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring them over here. Like, don't invite their fucking capitalist North American bullshit into our area of the world. And I understand that is the fucking take they have. I get it. And it's like...
All right, what were we saying? Well, okay, yeah, now they're saying like 500,000 Russians, 500,000 to 800,000 have died.
Really?
In 3 years, which is like, if you think about like the U.S. in the Middle East, it was like 5,000.
That's a lot, dude.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a fucking ton of people. And they're like finding that they were given like body armor made out of aluminum. They were giving helmets with nothing in them.
I know, and I hate to say this. There's a couple things that I've seen Mr. Trump do that they suck, and it's hard and unfortunate, but I don't necessarily think it's the worst. I kind of agree with the take of like, well, the Biden administration didn't speak to Putin. There was no contact with Putin for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the war started and they just didn't contact them.
Yeah.
Post an immediate contact.
Yeah.
After that, nothing. I think being in contact with them and being like, look, you guys, obviously Russia wants a fucking portion of this. Like, you guys have to come to some sort of agreement and stepping in. I actually think that's a pretty good idea.
I don't think so. It's appeasement.
You're appeasing Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, in exchange for stopping people dying.
Yeah, but that's what we tried with the Nazis, and it didn't work. We gave them Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, but I don't think Russia's on a global domination path the way the Nazis were. Those cocksuckers wanted to take the whole world.
Well, that's not what they're saying outright, but it sets a precedent, right?
It does set a precedent.
So now,
I
like,
agree
they
with
want
that.
to take a chunk of Finland, and they know if they go in and they grind long enough, then we'll give them something. The only way that it works is if you say you're getting absolutely nothing. And the only way that we stop sending aid to Ukraine is if you pull out immediately. That's the only, you have to be hard on it, right? Because you're not talking with a friend here. You're talking to someone that is opposed to you.
That is, ideologically, they're fully opposed.
They're opposed. So you can't give them an inch because, like, if you think that the states will take a mile, the fucking Russians will take a mile if you give them anything, right? They're also the aggressors in this.
I don't think... See, this is where I disagree. I don't think that... I think that's American propaganda.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think that Russia is the aggressors in this.
Yeah, but who walked across the border?
It doesn't matter. Who walked across the border? The States. I think the United States are the aggressor. I think the United States going to Ukraine so much and such heavy influence of getting them to want to be a NATO country. It wasn't even in talks. It wasn't even a fucking discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I think the United States is at fault for the Ukrainian war, and I think that I think that them pushing Ukraine to become a part of NATO is just... You're not going to change Russia ideologically, but what you can do is allow them to have their own space and to respect that space. By going in there and encouraging someone immediately on their border, being like, why don't you come and be buddies with the States? You're going to piss people off. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Imagine this. Here's an inverse. Imagine if Russia or China suddenly was like, you know what? Talking to Canada, and Canada goes, you know what? We would love it if we had Russian military presence, like full Russian military presence in Canada. You know what would happen? The United States would bomb us immediately.
Yeah, but
there would be missile strikes on us.
Would you be okay with being like, fine, the U.S. gets BC then?
Honestly, I'd be like, yeah, I would be like...
You would be okay with that?
I would be like, don't fucking stop killing people. You should have never... Why did we ever even entertain the idea that that Russia was allowed to be on Canadian soil? So the only way... It's not your country. The same way that, like, the U.S. should have never been going over there trying to entertain the idea of them having military bases on the Russian border. Because it's not your fucking country. It's not your country to get involved with. So why are you over there?
Yeah, but that's all of NATO then.
Okay, agreed. Why are you going to a country, the only reason you proposed to Ukraine to be a part of NATO was so you could be closer and on the border of Russia. That's the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
So by you doing that, you are the aggressor in the situation. It was perfectly fine before the U.S. did that. They had
always talked. No, because they took Crimea in 2014.
Dude, small little battles like that, you're talking about a difference between like no one dying and thousands of people dying in a country that's like...
Yeah, I think Putin is pining for the days of the Soviet Union when Ukraine was fully under their control. And now that he's getting towards the end of his life, because he's in his 70s now, right? He's thinking of like empire. He's thinking of like how he'll be remembered. And if he had successfully like absorbed Ukraine in the few weeks that he said it was going to take, Like, he would have been thought of as, like, restoring Russia from past humiliation, right? That's what I think his goal is.
I mean, it's a take. It's a take.
That's what I think it is.
I think it's possible to get inside someone's head like that, especially someone like Putin. I think it's a fucking tough call. But, yeah, it's possible.
People try to... I see a lot of people in the Western world idealize Putin and try and think of him as not, like, this bad of a guy, but he actually is.
Yeah, he's a fucking
he is,
rough
and
dude.
he is, like, a global threat to peace.
I think just
And
the best
also-
thing with him is to leave him alone over there and don't antagonize the situation. Just leave him. Eventually, he's going to die.
Yeah, but Russia doesn't leave other people alone. That's the problem. They're like, aside from maybe the States, they're the best at the world in propaganda. Most Western countries are being affected by Russian propaganda as much as, like, it happens all the time. They're not outwardly doing stuff that's, like, pro-Russian, but they're doing things like stoking racism in the States.
Yep.
They infiltrate political candidates in lots of countries around the world for soft, like Germany had a party where there were very, very pro-Russian politicians, and it turns out they were being paid off and propagandized by Russia.
Yeah.
They're really good at cyber attacks and things.
Yeah,
Right?
again, like the issue is incredibly complex and nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
I think that putting all the blame on Russia is the wrong take.
Yeah, I think putting all the blame
the United
on Russia
States
is the wrong
has a
take.
lot of,
Or NATO in general.
NATO in general, the United States
You're
being the
antagonizing.
proponent of this. You're antagonizing the situation.
However, I don't think it's good to have a compromise here.
That's fair. It's a fair take.
I don't think it's good to have compromise because it sets a precedent where
That you
I
can do
think-
this again.
I think the world has gotten better where in most of the world we've all decided that countries are sovereign and you don't march armies across borders.
yeah,
Right.
that's a no-go.
That's
anymore.
a no-go, right? And NATO
Except
is
for Gaza.
well, if you don't consider Palestine a country, then it doesn't count.
Yeah,
right?
like, you know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard because I agree with you on this take that, like, I would say globally people typically are like, that's their own country now. Like, all the borders are established.
Yeah.
Antarctica and the Arctic Circle are, like, divided into pizza slices. Everyone gets a little piece. That's fine.
Mm.
But, yeah, like, no,
Well,
like, fucking Genghis Khan marching armies across borders.
Well, yeah, because,
anymore.
like, even after the Second World War, like, there was Korea and there was Vietnam and stuff. And,
Yeah.
like, they were, like, Americans were involved and stuff. But it's not like we're conquering this for America.
Yeah.
Right? Because we had just done the Second World War and we were like, that was fucked.
Yeah.
Like, we can't do that again. Because, like, weapons are getting so good. If we actually do that again, like, that'll
It'll
just
go
be
crazy.
That'll just be the end of it, right? Now
Yeah.
that nukes are on the table,
Heavily.
like, if the States and Russia just hit that fucking launch all button
Crazy that the States haven't won a war since
since the Second World War, yeah.
yeah, they just haven't won anything.
No, Korea was like a tie.
Yeah, Korea's a
tie. Vietnam's an L.
yeah,
What else?
Iraq,
Yeah, Iraq.
Afghanistan. They pulled out Afghanistan. Yeah, congrats, Afghanis. You'll never take those motherfuckers.
Graveyard of Empires. That's what they call them.
Yeah,
The
it
British
is.
tried. The Russians tried. The Americans tried. You can't do it.
You can't do
well,
it.
because it's not a conventional war anymore. Right?
Yeah, well, because you're fighting guerrilla forces
You're-
where the people look exactly like civilians.
Exactly. You're not fighting a conventional army. That's what
Yeah.
the U.S. Army was made to do, is fight conventional armies. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Right? And plus, there's no point. Like, how many
What do you
peop-
want? What do you want so bad from Afghanistan? Oil? Doesn't even have that much oil.
What? Well, fuck.
What they wanted was a place to, again, doing what the U.S. does. They want a place to put Americans so that you're closer to the problem that you seek to
Well,
fight.
there's that. Afghanistan grew a lot of heroin.
Oh, yeah, Afghan. Yeah, a
They
lot of
grew a
opium.
lot of opium
Well,
out
and
there.
look at what they do now. Now they have CIA operatives protecting poppy fields.
Mm-hmm.
They pay the CIA to protect poppy fields.
Mm-hmm.
Canadians do it as well. We have people. AstraZeneca has fields in, I believe
I
it's
don't
in
know. It just
Afghanistan.
grows nuts there. I don't know.
Yeah,
But there's that.
It's perfect growing conditions, but AstraZeneca has fields in there where we send Canadian military forces to like do security for poppy fields.
Yeah, and the States is always really scared of an Arab uprising in the Middle East.
As
So-
they should be.
Well, it's against their interest.
Do you not remember 9/11?
It's against their interest, right? Because a lot
Yeah.
of Arabs see themselves as less as countries and more of a people.
Yeah.
Right? Like Arabs are united, whether it's like the North
Crazy
of Africa and
take.
stuff.
Crazy
Yeah, I
take.
know. But like the militant versions of Arabs and Muslims see themselves like
Yeah.
that, right? So if you can have as many governments that are propped up and have pro-US ideas, then the less chance you have of that happening. Right?
It's funny. I was talking to a buddy of mine. He is Pakistani, and most Pakistanis are Muslim.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, he's like, I can't fucking believe that, like, I just can't move to Saudi Arabia. And I was like, what? Why? Mm-hmm. He's like, because I'm Muslim. Like, yeah, dude, like, I'm fucking Christian. My name's Christian. Like, I was raised kind of Catholic. Like, doesn't mean I can just fucking move to Italy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of could.
Yeah, but I can't just immigrate to Italy on the basis of, like,
No.
oh, well, I went to church once.
He could have moved to any ISIS territory. That's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, but so he's telling me this, and I'm like, what's your idea? He goes, well, we're a people, the Muslim people. We should be able to go wherever there are Muslim countries. And I'm like, that is fucking insane.
Yeah,
No,
that's what
these
they
are
see it as, though.
country borders. There are countries, there are immigration processes. You can't just move wherever you want because you're a Muslim. That's I'm sorry to be a jackass, but like that's retarded.
Yeah. No, but that's how they see it, right?
That's how they see it, and it's like, wow, that's crazy. I can't move to the States because I love NASCAR and Budweiser.
You should be able to.
I should
That
be
on the
able
citizen
to.
check.
Yeah.
It's like, what way do they turn in NASCAR? You're like, left. Like, good.
Good. All right.
What do you think about fast cars? Like them. Okay.
Yeah, love Chevy.
Someone
That's
asked
my
you.
Chevy hat.
Someone asked you to supersize your meal. Trick question. I don't even let them ask me. I just supersize it right away.
Everything is super.
Welcome to America, son.
What do you think about 9/11 terrorizers?
I've been seeing a lot of people, like, since the ICE activity in the South has been kind
Yeah.
of ramping up, there's, like, lots of, like, Hispanic people in the South. They're like, oh, I got to start acting American so ICE doesn't see me, and they're all just doing the fentanyl lean.
Terrible.
Like, I stopped going to work and started doing fentanyl so I look American.
Jesus Christ. Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, that's how you prove you're American.
Yeah, just overindulge on one thing way too much.
Pick something that just lights up your dopamine center
And just hammer the
just
shit out of
hammer
that.
the shit out of that.
Yeah,
Live
well,
in
it doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. If you're going to smoke, just smoke like 4 packs a day.
Yeah, smoke 4 packs of Marley Reds.
Yeah.
Live in a house that can blow down with a stiff wind.
Yeah, and go to your job every day and just incessantly chain smoke.
Yeah, drive like 40 miles each way.
Yeah,
In
and
your
just-
in your
Chevy
truck.
pickup. Yeah.
In your truck that cost you $90,000 that you financed over 7 years.
Yeah,
You
and-
end up paying $150,000 for it.
You're gonna end up paying $150,000. It's gonna depreciate super fast because you just hammer darts.
Yeah, it'll depreciate faster than you can make payments on it.
Yeah. You'll never ever get your money back.
You'll trade it in 4 years in, you'll get $30,000
yeah.
and you'll spend it on another $150,000 truck.
Fucking, yeah.
And it's your whole personality. Nothing ever goes in that truck bed.
No.
No.
No. The only thing that goes in that truck bed is like maybe ducks. Dead ducks.
Yeah, dead ducks and like a grill, maybe, when you tailgate.
Yeah. Tailgating. Yeah. Cooler. Yeah. Your Yeti cooler.
Yeah, you've got off-road tires that never leave pavement.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless they're going to a Buffalo game and they pull into that muddy parking lot.
Yeah, and that's their moment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is-
Off-roading in a flat field, bro.
This is what we bought the 4x4 for.
Yeah, dude, seeing guys. I watched a dude doing this. The one road that by my work is really muddy, and it's just like a dirt road. And I watch a guy pull up to the edge of the pavement, and I see him like put it in park, and I watch him fucking around. I'm like, he's putting it in 4x4, and he fucking puts it in 4x4, and then like, boom, and all the tires start going, and I was like, no fucking, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm running out here with, you should see the tires on my truck. They're bald. bald, and then it's rear wheel drive. I got an 8-foot bed, so it's light as fuck back there,
Just
and
spin it.
hammer it straight down the mud, just like.
I love truck guys so much. Not like truck guys, but like suburban truck guys.
Yeah.
'Cause like, well,
Pavement princesses.
Yeah, I need to move a lot of shit. Well, that's not true, because if that was true, you'd get a transit van.
Yeah,
Like, that'd
to
haul-
keep it covered. Yeah,
that would
I
haul
move a lot
all
of
this-
wood.
Yeah, that would
Don't
move
you wanna
all
keep
the
it
shit
dry?
easily. Just say that, like, your dick's kind of tiny, and this
you
makes
love
you
trucks.
feel like a man.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
dude.
say you like trucks.
You
I'd
know-
have more respect for you.
The only especially if a dude's under 6 foot and drives a truck. Yeah, I'm like, bro, there's no actual application for you to drive a truck.
Yeah.
Here's my argument. If I see
you definitely don't need a 250.
No, yeah. If I see a big farm boy get out of like a truck, especially like my truck is like, dude, I didn't realize till I pull up beside like a new F-150. My truck's like miniature next to them.
Well, your truck's reasonable.
Yeah, mine is just a work truck.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And I got a massive toolbox. Anyway, but if I see a guy get out of a truck like mine who's like, say like my size, like 6'3", 250, and they roll out of that, I'm like, oh, he's just much comfier there than he is in a fucking Civic.
Yeah.
Like I get in a Civic, my knees hit the dash.
Yeah, that's true.
Or man, even like my buddy's got one of those Audi SUVs.
Yeah.
Getting in and out of that is a fucking bitch of a time. They're small.
Yeah, they're a luxury car.
They're a luxury car. They're too tiny. So that if I see a huge dude
If I see
getting
a
in
guy
a truck,
nicknamed Pork Chop
getting
getting out of a truck,
I'm like, all right, fair enough. That he needs the space.
he needs the space. But
Yeah.
like,
When I see a dude hop out, gets out, and he's wearing his fucking super high heels on his cowboy boots, and he's like
Lifts him.
5'3", yeah, and I'm like, bro.
he's got the little like step ladder that comes out of the truck.
Any dude who uses the fucking side step
Yeah.
to get in and out of the truck, I'm like,
Truck's too big for you.
yeah, truck's too big.
That's a sign.
I've never used one.
Yeah. You like, and 90% of the time, all of their truck needs would be easily used by like a Ford Ranger.
Yeah,
Like a 2006 Ford Ranger.
they're perfect. Ford Rangers are great.
They're
I'm gonna
great.
get the white one. They're an awesome
They're
fucking car.
awesome. You don't need like
It's enough
you don't
that you
need a
can-
Cummins.
Yeah, the only time in my mind that you really benefit from a truck over like a really big SUV, which really big SUVs are stuck on gas. Trucks are better on gas. I'll give you that. Or like a van is like if you genuinely hunt and fish.
Yeah.
If you hunt and fish, trucks are better across the board. Why? Because I don't want to put bleeding animals in the back of my
That makes
SUV.
sense. You're using it for truck shit.
Yeah, or like fish. You know how many times I've just put fish in the bed and there's fish slime everywhere?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Just
want
hose
to put
it
that
out.
in my... Yeah, just hose it out. I don't want to put it in my fucking
Most
inside the
people
vehicle.
would get by with a car.
But, yeah, the
Like
amount
a
of
sedan.
trades guys I know, yeah, they drive fucking 4-door sedans.
Yeah.
And they're totally fine. They'll have material hanging out of the back if they need really long material,
Yeah, sure.
but they're fine.
Yeah, you put
They
your
get by
toolbox
with
in
a
the back,
fucking-
your lunch in the back,
Yeah.
your passenger seat. Most people get by in a car, but for some reason, nobody's buying fucking cars anymore.
I know.
Because you can't.
I don't understand it.
They're not selling cars. You're not buying cars. Everyone is getting SUVs that are way too big for them.
Yeah,
that they don't
it's
need.
fucked. It's actually fucked up.
It is fucked.
And as a result, the used car market, because they're not producing as many of these new cars, and now our safety standards are high, to get into a used car that is going to pass safety, 10 grand.
Yep.
You can't get anything for under 10 grand. Like, it's not worth it.
I know, it sucks.
Because you're going to spend you have to buy something for 6 grand, you're spending another 8 to get it road legal. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's just fucking impossible.
Yeah. You don't need an 8-seater SUV for like you, your husband, and your dog.
Dude, the Tahoe bullshit, because this is another thing. If it's not a truck with these pavement bitches,
Yeah.
if it's not a truck,
an Escalade.
it's a fucking Escalator, a Tahoe, or a Yukon,
Navigators.
the Lincoln Navigators.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that seats 7 people.
Yeah.
It's 5 like the regular, and there's 2 more in the back, 7 or 8.
You
It
don't
might
need
be
all
8.
that.
It's like, what are you fucking doing with all that? And yeah, the people getting in, it's like, oh, okay, you got a dog and 1 or maybe 2 kids. Like, you can fit that in a regular SUV, dude.
Yep.
Why are you driving a fucking tank down the road?
that gets like, not only that gets like fucking 5.5 miles to the gallon.
Obviously, you've sat in one, right?
Yeah.
You ever like hit one of these to like back up, and there's like 30 foot of car.
It's like a bus.
Your back windshield's like this big.
Like this thing all the way in the back. Well, that's useless. Thank God I have this fucking backup camera.
Because I
on it.
can't see shit out of this thing.
I
You
know.
look back there, you hear like a howl of wind. There's like people living back there you never even know.
You're like, hey, how long you been in there?
6 months.
Yeah, fuck, eh? I got one back seat.
I've never
more.
seen the fourth row of seats.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. Anyways,
All right.
well, good talking to you.
Thank you, folks.
Thanks for listening.
Stay reasonable.
Keep doubting. We love you so much. Good night.
You got to pass.
Reasonable Doubt Podcast. If you guys like funny, hilarious, goofy, goober, silly boys podcast, that is a good place to find yourself.
That was a good one.